Before we begin, I want to warn you that this story contains mature themes. It deals with the challenges of new motherhood, family relationships, and infidelity. If these topics make you uncomfortable, you might want to stop watching now. I never thought I'd betray him, not in a million years. But one wild night with his friends changed everything, and now I can't stop thinking about it. I didn't plan this. We never even talked about it. But here I am, telling you this because it's taken over my mind. I don't know if I regret it or if I just want it to happen again. My name's Emily Carter. I've been with Ryan Mitchell for almost 3 years. At first, it felt perfect. You know, that kind of love where you can't keep your hands off each other, where even the dumbest jokes feel like the funniest thing you've ever heard. That was us. We'd stay up all night talking about everything and nothing, make spontaneous road trips, even got matching tattoos on a dare one night. We were that couple everyone thought we'd last forever. But somewhere along the way, I don't know, things shifted. It wasn't like we had a huge fight or anything dramatic, it was just quieter. The texts got shorter, the kisses less intense. We still laughed, we still had fun, but there was this distance creeping in, like we were roommates who still cared about each other but forgot how to be more. It was just supposed to be a chill night. Ryan and I went over to his friend's place, Jake Sanders and Mason Rodriguez. We'd all hung out before, nothing special. They had this small apartment, the kind that smells like cheap cologne and leftover takeout. We brought over some drinks, lit up a little, and sat around like we always did. Music low, everyone lounging on this beat-up couch that had probably seen way too much. We were laughing, swapping stories about the craziest stuff we'd ever done. And somehow the spotlight landed on me. They kept asking me questions, teasing me in this playful way, and I kind of liked it. Their eyes were on me, their attention sharp. I hadn't felt butterflies in a long time, but that night, I felt them. Strong. If you're still with me, don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more stories like this. Trust me, there's so much more to uncover. Ryan wasn't a bad boyfriend. I need to say that. He's not one of those guys who forgets your birthday or cheats behind your back. He's solid, reliable, the kind of guy you can count on to fix your car, or bring you soup when you're sick. But somewhere along the way, he stopped seeing me. Not like he literally ignored me, but you know when someone looks at you and you can tell they're just there, present, but not really noticing you anymore? That's what it felt like. We'd get home from work, eat dinner in front of the TV, maybe scroll through our phones side by side on the couch. He'd give me a quick kiss before bed. But it was more like muscle memory than anything else. The kind of kiss you give your mom on the cheek before leaving for school. And sex? God, it was fine. Just fine. Like checking something off a list.
No pasión, no urgency.
It was like we were doing it because that's what couples are supposed to do. I tried to shake things up a few times, bought some new lingerie, suggested we take a weekend trip somewhere, just the two of us. But he always had an excuse. Work's crazy right now. Maybe next month when things calm down. And I guess after a while I stopped trying. It's exhausting, you know? Feeling like you're the only one putting in the effort. Like you're slowly becoming invisible to the person who's supposed to know you better than anyone else. And it wasn't just about sex. It was everything. He used to ask me how my day was and actually listen when I answered. Now, I could have told him I got abducted by aliens, and he'd probably just nod and say, "That's crazy, babe," without even looking up from his phone. I didn't realize how much that was eating at me. How much I missed feeling desired. Wanted. Not just as a girlfriend, but as a woman. I didn't even know how deep that need ran until that night. Sitting on that couch with Jake and Mason. The way they looked at me like I was the most interesting person in the room. I hadn't felt that in a long, long time. That night started like any other. We were all slouched on that ratty old couch, half-empty bottles scattered on the coffee table, the air thick with smoke. Jake had his usual cocky grin. Mason was leaning back with his arms slung over the chair. And Ryan was next to me, one hand lazily resting on my thigh, like it was just habit at this point. We were swapping stories, laughing about the dumb stuff we'd done in college, the kind of stuff you cringe about later but still love to tell. But then the stories got wilder. Jake was talking about some crazy night he had in Miami. Something about waking up in a stranger's apartment with no pants and no clue how he got there. We all laughed, but then Mason shot me this look like he was sizing me up and asked, "All right, Emily, what's the wildest thing you've ever done?" I felt my heart skip a little. I wasn't expecting the question to land on me like that. I mean, I had stories, sure, but nothing that wild. And the way they were all looking at me, it made me feel seen in a way I hadn't felt in forever. Their eyes were locked on me, waiting, curious. Gave me this little rush. So I played along. Told them about sneaking into a rooftop pool once in the middle of the night. It was tame compared to their stories, but they ate it up anyway, teasing me about being more adventurous than I looked. And then it shifted. Mason, with that smirk of his, leaned forward and said, "So, would you ever try like group stuff?" I should have been shocked. I wanted to be shocked. But instead I felt this weird thrill pulse through me. My heart started racing, not from embarrassment but from something else. I looked over at Ryan, expecting him to laugh it off, maybe throw a sarcastic comment back. But he didn't. He just shrugged and said, "I mean, I wouldn't be contrary." That's when it hit me, the weight of his words. He wouldn't be contrary. And suddenly it was like the air got thicker, heavier. I felt Ryan's hand slightly tighten on my thigh, and when I met his eyes there was this look, something I hadn't seen in a long time. Hunger, possession, and maybe curiosity. Jake hurriedly broke the tension and said, "Why not tonight?" And before I could even process that, my Ryan looked at me and said, "Yeah, why not?" I should have said no. I should have felt weird, uncomfortable, something. But instead, I felt a spark ignite inside me. Like I'd been sleepwalking for months, and suddenly someone flipped the lights on. And the craziest part? I didn't feel scared. I felt alive.